to talk to you about peonies. They are one of my absolute favourites. I had them in my wedding bouquet when I got married, and I actually bought the two varieties that I had in my wedding bouquet and planted them in the garden. So they're some of the ones I'm going to be showing you today. I'm going to talk a little bit first about how to plant peonies. So you can buy them from the garden centre. Usually they're sort of 2 years old when you buy them from the garden centre, and they'll be in a pot and they'll have some foliage already on them. That is a absolutely fine way to buy them, but they do tend to be more expensive. So if, like me, you like to get a bargain, then your best bet is to buy them as bare root, which basically look like bits of stick. They don't look very attractive when you get them, but you can order them online. There's loads of great suppliers. I think I usually get mine from Sarah Raven. I'm getting a bit boring, aren't I? I pretty much order everything from there, but I get really good quality specimens, so that's why I choose there. And yeah, so you get them, and they're usually delivered around sort of September time, so you want to get them into the ground before the frost hits, really. So and give them a good chance to establish themselves before everything gets really, really cold. So basically dig a big hole, sort of twice the size of the bare root that you've got, and you want to add a bit of compost or manure into that hole just to give them a really good start. And I also chuck a bit of bloodfish and bone in as well, just to get a nice bit of nutrients in there. And then it's all about planting depth. So on the bare root you will have what look like twigs, and then you will have tiny little, they're called eyes, but they look like little buds, usually kind of a pinky colour. And you want those to be no more than 2 to 5 centimetres underneath the soil. Otherwise, the roots won't get enough light, and then they won't sprout. So yeah, just go really careful on your planting depth, and basically just put them into the hole, backfill with loads of soil, and then leave them over the winter. You can then in the spring, before everything starts to shoot, if you just top dress them with, again, some well-rotted compost and some nice fertiliser, then that will just give them a really good start, and you will start to get little shoots. So I'm going to take you over to the peony patch now, and I'm going to show you some that I've planted just in September, just gone, and some that have been in the ground 2 years, and some that have been in the ground 3 years. Okay, so this is one of the bare roots that I planted in September, just gone. So you can see it's quite tiny, and the shoots are relatively skinny. So I literally, obviously there's no flowers on it this year because it's just establishing itself. So in your first year, if you've bought bare root, then don't be disappointed when you don't have any flowers. If you buy ready potted, like I said, they're usually a couple of years old, so you probably will get some flowers on them. So I'm going to show you one of those now. So this one here is a 2-year-old peony, and this one is Bowl of Beauty, so it's a lovely pink bud, and then when it opens out it's got like an amazing like fluffy white centre. It's really stunning. So this is 2 years old, so although it's so tempting to see these nice buds and think, oh, that's like perfect squishiness as well to be cut and put in a vase, but actually you shouldn't really cut peonies until they're 3 years old, just so you give them a really good chance to establish. So for a 2-year-old one, I would just say, just leave them on the plant, let the plant get a bit stronger, and enjoy the beauty in the garden rather than in a vase. So finally, this is a 3-year-old peony. It's Peony Kansas, so I had these in my wedding bouquet. So really, ideally, you want to cut them when they're marshmallow squishiness. So this one actually is still a little bit hard. You can see there's no give at all. That one's obviously fully opened out, but there is one down here which is just about perfect. In fact, it's probably a little bit over, but really you can cut them at any stage. So even if they're really big and open like that, depends what you want to do with them and how, you know, if you want them to look good for that evening, then obviously you're going to cut these big open ones. But for the longest vase life, go for them when they're nice and squishy like marshmallows and there's just a bit of colour on them. And I'm not going to cut this one actually. I'm going to cut the beautiful Coral Charm because I'm obsessed with them. So these are just absolutely stunning, and I'm just going to pick 3 of them and pop them in a vase. Not too much equipment needed to cut and condition your peonies, so you're either going to need a pair of snips like this, or you can just use kitchen scissors, and then you're going to need some kind of water container. I'm just going to use a watering can because it's nice and easy, and your peonies. So I'm choosing this beauty here to cut. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you cut the peony off, and you want to leave 2 sets of leaves at the bottom just so they get some energy back into the roots for next year. So all I'm going to do is just go right down into the plant, count 2 sets of leaves, so 1, 2, and I'm just going to snip them there, so you should have a nice long stem. There you go, you've got your peony there. Now there is a lot of leaves on there, and all those leaves are going to do is just take energy away from the flower, which is what you want to preserve. So I'm just going to strip those off. Now, depending on the thickness of the leaves, you can just do this with snips if you prefer, or you can do it with your hands, but the snips are probably just a bit easier. So take most of that off. I'm going to put these in quite a short vase, so I'm not too worried about stem length. But you can see, I mean, absolutely stunning. So I'd leave a couple of leaves on for a bit of interest, and then they're just going to go straight into the watering can to have a nice long drink. Just like that. Overnight, and then I can arrange them. I'm going to put them somewhere cool, probably inside my house because it's quite cold, but if you've got like a cold garage, then that would be perfect. Leave them overnight, and then they're ready to arrange tomorrow. So when you chop your stems, like I said, I'm chopping mine down because I don't want them to be too long. You want to make sure you chop them at an angle. This is so when they sit in a vase, even if this part of the stem is on the bottom of the vase, the water will still be able to get up into the stem. So this just makes sure they do actually get a drink rather than being sat flat against the bottom of the vase. So that's your 3 peonies there, ready to sit and have a drink overnight. One thing I didn't mention about peonies is that they're obviously quite top heavy, so I was really paranoid that the rain this week was going to absolutely decimate everything and mean that I couldn't show you this. But if I just show you from the side, can you see how much they're all flopping over? So really I should have staked them, I just haven't had the time. But I'm going to do another video on a really cheap and easy way to make flower supports, which I will post to my channel in a few weeks' time. So generally the rule when having cut flowers from the garden is that you leave them overnight in a cool, dark place in some water to have a really long drink. This just means that they are nice and firm when you're arranging them. And if you're arranging them with other flowers, it just means that they're full height as well, so they'll fit into the arrangement nicely, they'll be their full length. With these ones, I actually want to put these in the house today, and as they're just this one variety, I'm not too worried about that if they do grow or change a little bit. So I'm going to put them straight into some lukewarm water in vases. I have mixed some floral preservative in here. Obviously you can buy this, but you can also make your own. So that will be the topic of another video of how to make your own floral preservative, so keep an eye out for that one. Basically, I've got 2 vases here filled with water, so one there and one there, and I'm just going to put these together. So generally with flower arranging, the rule is always an odd number. So I've cut 3 peonies, but what I'm actually going to do, is this one here has got a little baby bud on, which will eventually come out hopefully. So I'm actually going to put that one in here, and then I'm just going to add one other to go with it because it's kind of got 3 already there. And I'm just going to sort of slightly stagger them, so one's slightly higher than the other one, and then you've got the other bud around the back here. So once that comes out, that will fill in the gap here. And then that leaves me with one last peony. I'm just going to take this bottom leaf off. And that can quite like leaving this bit of foliage. I think it just adds a bit of interest to the neck of the vase. So there you go, nice little display to sit. Just move those around a little bit. So that will just look really lovely on the kitchen side or on your dining room table, and the smell is absolutely beautiful. Hi there, so that's the arrangement all done. What I should have said was I'd actually snipped the ends of these, so after they've had a nice cool drink, if you've let them sit, then again you should re-snip the end, the base of them, and you can make sure, you can see probably in the video here that they're actually at an angle, so they're getting a nice drink. Even this one that's right at the bottom, because it's on an angle, it's sitting right at the bottom of the vase, but it's still getting a nice drink, and then they're ready to go in the house. I hope you found this video really useful on how to grow and cut and arrange peonies for the home. If you have enjoyed the video, then please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see a bit more of where it came from, then please subscribe to the channel. There's a button just below, a red button that you can click, and that's to subscribe. And if you've got any other types of varieties or floral arrangements that you'd like to see, then please leave me a comment below the video, and I'll see what I can do. Thanks, bye!